Hey, welcome back, everybody. Wanted to talk to you about chapter 4 of my book. It's relevant to what we've been talking about over the past couple of episodes. Would love you to go and look through them. And obviously, for those of you who haven't, please subscribe. We are building up a great subscriber list. And going forward, there will be a lot of special subscriber-only goodies that I'll be offering out to you. And certainly would love to have you all along for the courses that I'm offering. Chapter 4 is about going with what you know, industry selection, right? This is in my book, which I'd love you to buy. But just want to talk to you about this concept of industry selection. You have to start out by narrowing your funnel. There are over 6,000 publicly traded companies in the US and Canada with market caps over 25 million, okay? Below that, you get many more. And so you cannot possibly look at all 6,000 publicly traded companies. And then consider the fact that you should look abroad, right? The way Jim Rogers, the investment biker, the famous international investor Jim Rogers, looked worldwide, right? But what kind of companies would you want to work with and analyze? The advice that I got early in the career was by reading Peter Lynch, right? So there's another author, investor that I recommend. You're a consumer, right? You're an employee, you're an entrepreneur, maybe both. You really don't even need to leave your home to determine a whole bunch of publicly traded companies with which you're familiar. Meaning, I'm sitting at a desk right now, and I talk about this in the book in detail, but talking to you through an iPhone and typing as we speak on an Apple MacBook Pro. Apple publicly traded, AAPL is the symbol. You can't really do much without Microsoft Word and Excel. Microsoft publicly traded. Adobe Acrobat. One of my all of the 4 trading laptops I use are powered by NVIDIA in some way, NVDA and AMD chips. Both of those are publicly traded. You may be reading this book on Amazon's Kindle. If you haven't bought the book already, you can buy the Kindle version for $2.99. Have a cup of Starbucks when you listen to me. It actually SBUX gets you right on the road to picking stocks, and I recommend their black coffee, iced Trenta. We haven't even left a desk, and we've already talked about companies where you and I are consumers, and every day you use these items. As I speak, I'm getting a headline on MasterCard and Visa, both of which are used to really lubricate the entire transactional world, and so we've talked already about consumer staples, coffee. We've talked about semiconductors, part of technology. We've talked about finance, right? So we've talked about financial services, MasterCard and Visa. And again, these things touch us. Oh, and by the way, we're communicating probably across an AT&T network, right? Publicly traded. You are by no means an expert just because you use these things, but you are familiar with the way that they market to you. You are familiar with their competitive landscape, and probably you have some interest in one, or if not all of the types of businesses that I've discussed, right? Think about the way that they earn their return on capital. Think about the way that they build their competitive moat. How did Starbucks become what it is? How did Apple become what it is? The history of credit cards and the credit card business, all the way back to the Diners Club cards that maybe your parents or grandparents used, right straight through to the payment processing technology that's today. These evolutions have led to very strong competitive dynamics, big moats. In the case of Apple, a couple of times across the past 30 years. It's hard to even think about that. People counted Apple out, even when they resurrected back in 2000 with the return of Steve Jobs, and actually in the late 90s with Steve Jobs actually negotiating a direct investment from Microsoft to resurrect Apple. So there's great financial history here. Think about in your daily journeys, from the moment you wake up straight through to when you go to bed, the publicly traded companies that you interface with, and make a list. Who are your favorite companies? Why do you think some of them are succeeding? What are the competitors? When you drive over to Wendy's to order a salad, you made a consumer choice that they wanted you to do, and that's in lieu of Burger King, McDonald's, and those customer choices drive ultimately the valuation of these businesses. So anyway, something to think about. This is just a preview of what I talk about in chapter 4 of my book, From Insight to Upside, and it should frame the way that you think about this as an investor. Narrowing down the funnel of companies that you cover, and realizing how much publicly traded companies touch our lives.